going on back roads like that. Yeah, we ended up on the back roads up here.
Okay.
And then rent a car, and I said, uh-oh, I don't know.
Peter, you? Thank you. Oh, well done. Can you save me? Because I can't swim. I'll come and see you.
I said, everyone.
Start off with 3 things with some introductions and a few safety pictures on the vessel. We are going to travel into the small township of Russell, which is just on the other side of the harbour. We don't have any passengers to pick up, so I can carry on with my introductions and briefings now that we do have everybody on board. But remember this, we are on the ocean. And the ocean provides a bit of motion sometimes. It looks nice and calm where we are now, but there is a little bit of swell out there today, especially around the hole in the rock area. So please make sure if you're moving around the boat, you are holding on. Remember this golden rule, one hand for you, one hand for the boat, and any time through our seats or over the side of the vessel. If I catch anyone doing this today and it goes in the water, well, we're going to stop the boat, we're going to throw you back in to pick it up. The Bay of Islands is clean and green, team, and we want to keep it this way. I've got no idea why. It isn't an island. If it was, well it is really. It's connected to the North Island of New Zealand. So it's the second largest island in this country, but it's not its own here in New Zealand. So this was the first port set up here where the early South Pacific sealers, whalers and explorers could come to collect supplies and provisions. 1947. And the foundations of the building actually consist of whale bones. It tells you how old that building is. Now these days they have a beautiful little Italian restaurant in here which serves some pretty nice food. If you're looking for somewhere to watch the beautiful sunset over the top of Paihia in front of us, well the Gables restaurant's a pretty good place to start. If we look up to the right, left hand side of the wharf, you see a big white building with a red roof. Now this is the Duke of Marlborough Hotel, Bar and Restaurant. This is a very key point of history for New Zealand, this restaurant. There's quite a few people that bring us to the Bay of Islands, good for the local businesses and good for the local town. In our team, we'll slowly start picking up a bit of speed, start getting out around the corner. Pick up a bit of speed for a little bit of time, we're almost heavy storm, northerly gale. So he turned around and he sailed into the bay to seek a bit of shelter. About 200 some Māori along the shoreline looking out at him. Now just before I go too far forward, there is a plaque here off to our left hand side on the rocks to commemorate the landing of Captain James Cook back in 1769. So it's just off the left hand side of the vessel on the outcrop of rocks. So as Captain Cook anchored here, he did look along the shoreline, seeing those Māori there. Now Captain Cook had a Tahitian navigator on board with him, by the name of Paihia. Now he knew quite a few of the languages throughout the South Pacific. So none of the Māori would have ever seen a gun being fired before. It's a big day for them anyway, as they would have never seen a pale-skinned person or anyone dressed in cotton-like clothing or a ship like the Endeavour. As Captain Cook was the first European explorer to ever travel here in the north and meet with the Māori. There was a traveller before him that came to New Zealand by the name of Abel Tasman, but he landed in the South Island in the Tasman National Park, and he was actually attacked by the Māori, and he decided to jump back on a ship and never to return. That was 100 some years before Cook. So Cook was here to put in the efforts here in New Zealand, navigate our coast and map it out. So as Captain Cook started rowing ashore, they did that, they fired the ball over their heads and it settled them down, of course, the Māori running off back into the bush. For himself, and he knew the value of having supplies readily available. His family, his wife, children, had a few farm hands with him as well. And they actually farmed, grew supplies on this island. Now see a beautiful beach here off to our left, I'm going to talk about it for a short moment. If we were to talk about everything about this island, well, we'd probably be here for too long and we wouldn't be able to get anywhere else. But I'll point out another key point is this beach here to our left. This is known as Twin Lagoons. The reason why you'll see them separated by two patches. Here we go, see. Purchased this 30-acre part of this island, or this 11-acre part of this island, off the Goodfellow families, which is the property that we're going to visit very shortly. He built this house in the early 2000s. You can see the main house to the left-hand side of the beach, which is 9 split levels with 1 continuous roof line. House of the year in the early 2000s. We've got the toy shed there in the middle of the bay with the big glass doors on the front of it. That's where they store their water sports toys and boats. You're going to need somewhere to have all your friends because you're definitely going to make it a few more than you wanted.
I trust you. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Other side.
Alright, cheers. Thanks very much.
On the other side of the island also we do have the old army barracks where there was an old concrete bunker set up for the early Navy, which was set up on this island back around the 1940s, where they were keeping an eye on the water down here in the bay for any ships and submarines that would come amongst the island. Not that they ever had any ships come into the bay or submarines, but they're definitely ready for them to happen. Now when early settlers come to the Bay of Islands, they discovered how strong the harakiki was when it was weaving into its rope form. And they discovered that it was stronger than the ropes they were using at the fair time. So they decided to make harakeke New Zealand's first export or commodity, where they took it over to Sydney in Australia, and they learned the way of it, and they started weaving it into rope forms to use on their tall ships and rigging at the time. So harakeke became New Zealand's first export or commodity. There's casinos, 5-star accommodations, and even a marina in this bay for the rich and the elite. Now, even though this would have been pretty cool to see in those earlier days, and even still today, the island's cool just the way it is. So New Zealand government, people of the Bay of Islands and councils support him every step of the way up until 90% of the first for our country's start. That's why we want to protect the history of the Bay for future generations to come and enjoy it. The history of New Zealand isn't that long really when you think about it. European settlers were only coming to New Zealand 3 times, but I'm going to throw you off the back of the boat. Okay. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to start picking up a little bit of speed, but our main destination for today is off on our right hand side, on the end of that peninsula, which is known as the Cape Brett, also known as Mangamanga, the land of the new beginnings and branching out from. It's thought that the earlier Māori people had branched out from here across the country, first landing here. On the end of the peninsula, there's a big rock that looks like Australia from the top, or the top part of Australia. That's our destination, Urupukapuka Island. Hold the rock. So we're going to start picking up a bit of speed. There's going to be a little bit more movement out here, team. So make sure you're holding on, team. If you do start feeling a bit nauseous, get outside, get a bit of fresh air. Stop thinking about it. They might be in the water, so they say, they're just telling me that one jumped off back into the water. So they might pop up around the rock. But like I was talking about earlier, Russell being the main port for the sealers and whalers of the South Pacific, the New Zealand fur seal was a seal that they were hunting in that sealing thing. They pretty well hunted the seal population in the Bay of Islands till there was none left. It's very unfortunate. You can't see that any popped up around the rocks currently. Oh well, worth the try to stop and have a look at one. It doesn't look like there's... Oh, yep, there's one just off our right there on the rocks. You can see it's just below the birds there. He's a little rock, looks like a rock sausage. There's that lighter brown coloured thing there, just below the birds. Well, here we are, team, at the most eastern point of the Bay of Islands, here at Urupukapuka, which is directly in front of the vessel, for New Zealand famous hole in the rock. So turn the boat around all sorts of different directions, just make sure you're holding on, a bit of movement out here. Remember, we are in the open ocean. When we get back inside the islands, it's nice and calm again. That's just all part of being out on the water. This is what we have to expect. Bit of movement. So the Māori name for this island is Motukukapuka, Motu meaning island or to stand alone, as it does stand out here all the way on the end of this peninsula. And kokako is a rare and endangered bird we have here in New Zealand. The kokako bird, which was once released onto this island as a form of training by the young wannabe warriors. Now what they'll have to do is they'll have to hike the Cape Brett Peninsula all the way out to the end of the point here, off to our right. When they get there, they'll have to swim across to this island here in front of us, or the hole in the rock itself, swim that channel. They have to climb up the steep rock faces around us to get to the top of the island. The reason they want to get up there is to catch one of the prized kokako birds. And once they catch one of those birds, they pluck one of the prized blue cheek feathers. These birds were released out here by one of the early Māori tribes here in the bay as a form of training. That's what they were here for. They're a grey wattle bird with a blue cheek feather and the blue dollar note in your wallet. If you pull that note out, you'll see they now adorn one side of that note. You hold it above your head for a short amount of time, you'll soon see how quickly those birds disappeared from this island because someone was snatched it out of your hand. Now the name Paihia Island was given to this island by Captain James Cook back in 1769. He seen this island from a distance, this is the English name for it, and he decided to name it after his boss. His boss being Lord Cape Brett, the first Lord of the British Admiralty back in 1769. So he named the island Paihia Island after his pretty fitting name, and the Cape Brett Peninsula off to our left also after Mr. Brett as well. And the basic name this island has, well, the hole in the rock. It's pretty basic, it's just a big rock with a hole in it. And you're probably thinking, do we make passage way through? Well, the hole is 12.5 metres wide on this side, opening up to 25 to 30 on the southern. Got about 15 metres swell, tide and currents around this peninsula, and they can pull you into the rocks quite easily. That's not where we want to be. I don't want ending up on the news tonight for all the wrong reasons. We'll leave that for somebody else. I'm going to judge the conditions from where we are now, but it's looking pretty good. So I'd say get your cameras ready because we might just make a quick pass through the hole and we'll pop out the southern side. So get your cameras ready to capture the moment. You'll probably blink and you miss it. That's how much speed I'll get up. But give me a few moments, I'll judge the conditions and we might all just pass on through the hole in the rock today. Well, here we have it then. We made our way through an island. How about that? Let's get on the list of things you want to do on board a vessel or on a boat. Pretty good conditions today as we're making our way through the hole. Bit of movement on the southern side. It's actually a lot calmer this afternoon compared to what it was this morning. Definitely a bit more movement out here. We definitely picked a better part of the day to come out and enjoy the bay. They're going to spin the boat around so you get a photo of the hole in the rock from all parts of the vessel. So I'll spin to my right so you can get a hole in the rock photo from the south. So you're probably wondering how the hole in the rock is formed. Well, it's all done by guess really. But the island is made up of a rock called Jurassic greywacke. It's a very hard and very brittle rock and really susceptible to faulting and cracking over time. So all the hole in the rock is just a big giant fault line. You can see the fault line that runs up this side of the hole all the way to the top. So hundreds of thousands, millions of years ago, we had a lot of erosion happening out here, and that forged away this big hole in the rock that we have here today, leaving this thing that we can drive through on a good day. So that's good. So make sure you're holding on to a bit of movement around here as I'm sitting in the chop here. You can see it does open up quite wide on the southern side.